Welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into one of the most incredible discoveries in the world of numismatics, the legendary 1977 1-cent coin from the United States, a coin that on the surface seems so ordinary that most people would easily overlook it as just another penny jingling at the bottom of a pocket or lost in between couch cushions. But this is no ordinary penny. This is the 1977 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, experts and historians alike because of its astonishing errors and unique qualities that have skyrocketed its estimated value to an unbelievable $299 million, making it one of the most valuable and extraordinary coins in the history of American money and possibly the entire world of collectible coins. Now you might be wondering, how could a simple penny from 1977 ever reach such an astronomical value when its face value is just 1 cent and millions of these coins were minted? But the truth lies in the mistakes, the oddities, the quirks and the rare conditions under which this particular coin was produced, turning it into a piece of history that is far more than its small copper-plated appearance suggests. When we start examining the 1977 penny in detail, the first error that jumps out is the off-center strike. Some examples of this coin are struck so far off-center that parts of the design are missing entirely, while still leaving enough of the date and mint mark visible to confirm its authenticity. Collectors adore such off-center strikes, especially when they are extreme yet balanced, and the 1977 1 cent shows just that. But that's only the beginning, because another error tied to this year's issue is the double die obverse, which means the coin's front side with Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears to have been stamped twice, creating a shadow-like duplication that makes the lettering in the motto "In God We Trust Liberty" and the date 1977 appear doubled and misaligned in a dramatic fashion. These doubled dies are highly collectible, and when combined with the fact that only a few are known from this year, the rarity factor multiplies exponentially, making these errors worth more than gold. Yet there is more to the story of this 1977 coin, as some examples appear to have been struck on experimental planches instead of the usual copper alloy. Some were mistakenly struck on foreign coin blanks or transitional metal compositions, creating a variety of 1 cent coins that look slightly different in color, weight or thickness. These small differences are massive when it comes to collector value, because they confirm that mint workers at the time accidentally allowed experimental or misplaced blanks to be used in the coin presses, further amplifying the uniqueness of the coin. There are even rumors of a handful of 1977 cents being struck on silver planches, something unheard of for a penny, and if authenticated, these could easily justify the multi-$100 million price tag, because they would represent one of the most bizarre and mysterious minting events in history. Another fascinating factor is the condition of the coin. Most pennies from the 1970s have been circulated heavily and show plenty of wear, scratches and discoloration, but this particular 1977 1 cent sits in pristine mint state condition with full red luster and no visible blemishes under magnification. To have survived nearly 5 decades in such immaculate condition is in itself a miracle, and rarity collectors pay a premium for high-grade coins, especially when the coin is already rare due to errors. So imagine combining an error coin with immaculate preservation. The result is an unparalleled piece that auction houses and collectors fight tooth and nail to obtain. Now, let's add in the mystique behind the story of this coin. It's said that one of these 1977 era pennies was discovered tucked away in an old estate collection, where the owner had no idea of its true value until it was authenticated by experts who revealed its extraordinary features, and from there it captured headlines worldwide, sparking a frenzy among collectors desperate to get their hands on one. The cultural significance of such a coin also cannot be understated, as it represents a moment in American minting history where a small mistake transformed an ordinary everyday object into a priceless artifact of human error, perseverance and fascination with rarity. Over time, the legend of the 1977 penny has only grown, with whispers of other hidden varieties waiting to be found in change jars or coin rolls, creating a treasure hunt that fuels the imaginations of millions. People now search their pocket change, hoping to uncover the next $1 million penny. The story resonates because it shows how something seemingly worthless can carry immense value if it has the right combination of history, rarity and error, and the 1977 penny embodies all three perfectly. The errors include double dies, repunched mint marks, off metal strikes, broad strikes and misaligned dies, and Each variation holds its own story, each contributing to the mystique of why this coin is now estimated to be worth $299 million if auctioned today. Imagine the kind of bidding war that would erupt at a major numismatic event where wealthy collectors, museums, and institutions would all be vying for ownership of the most valuable 1-cent coin ever recorded. Beyond the money, though, this coin represents possibility. It teaches us that everyday objects can hide incredible stories and that paying attention to detail can unlock hidden treasures. It shows that history and value are not always written in big flashy events, but sometimes in tiny details like the way a coin was struck in 1977 in a mint facility and accidentally produced with flaws that no one thought mattered at the time, yet decades later the world sees those flaws as treasures and pays unimaginable sums to own them. This is why coin collecting is such a fascinating pursuit. It's a blend of history, art, mystery, and economics, and nothing highlights that better than the story of the 1977 1-cent coin, which despite its humble appearance has become a legend in its own right. Now, as we come to the close of this incredible journey into the history and mystery of the 1977 penny, think about how many times you may have held a coin without ever looking closely at it. Think about the possibility that something extraordinary could be hiding in plain sight in your pocket or wallet today, and how that could change your life forever. The 1977 1-cent coin, with its combination of extreme rarity, minting errors, historical quirks, and pristine condition, has cemented itself as one of the most extraordinary coins in history, and that $299 million valuation is not just about money, it's about meaning, rarity, and the endless curiosity that drives collectors around the world. So make sure to always check your coins, because the next priceless discovery could be sitting right in your hands. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating story of the 1977 penny, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more amazing discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next unbelievable coin story that could change how you see the money in your pocket forever. Next, 2011 D1-cent USA coin. Today we are going to explore one of the most shocking and exciting discoveries in the entire world of rare coins and numismatics, the unbelievable 2011 D1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, investors, and historians alike with its jaw-dropping value of $190 million. And while it might sound completely impossible that a coin with a face value of just a single cent could command such astronomical worth, the truth lies in the combination of extraordinary minting errors, extreme rarity, and fascinating circumstances surrounding this specific issue that have made it a coin unlike any other in modern history, and one that continues to fascinate anyone who learns about its story, because on the surface the 2011 D penny is just one of the billions produced at the Denver Mint in Colorado, struck with the shield reverse design that replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 2010 to symbolize the preservation of the Union. Yet, while billions of these coins flow through circulation and sit unnoticed in coin jars or cash registers, a handful of them turned out to be so unusual and so flawed that they rewrote the narrative of what collectors thought possible with a modern 1-cent coin, starting with the most famous error tied to this coin, the dramatic double die obverse, which reveals heavy doubling on the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as a noticeable spread on the digits of the date 2011, making the coin look like it carries ghostly shadows of its own design. This type of error is instantly desirable to collectors, but in the case of the 2011 D-cent it is far rarer than usual, with only a couple of authenticated specimens known to exist, adding to the value and mystery. Then we move to another error, the off-metal strike, where certain examples of the 2011 D penny were accidentally struck on planches meant for dimes or foreign coinage, creating lightweight, undersized pennies that shocked experts when discovered. Such dramatic minting blunders are so rare in the 21st century, when mint technology was supposedly at its most precise, that their very existence adds a level of rarity unlike older errors. And since these off-metal strikes from 2011 are so few, their estimated value skyrocketed to millions individually, but when one coin combined multiple mistakes, its value reached the extraordinary peak that makes it worth $190 million today. As if that was not enough, some 2011 D pennies show broad strike errors where the collar that normally holds The coin in place during striking failed, leaving the coin wider, flatter, and more distorted than normal. These broad strikes, when combined with full visible dates and mint marks, are highly sought after because they clearly demonstrate a mint malfunction in dramatic fashion. Yet collectors have also found misaligned die strikes from this year where the obverse and reverse were not properly centered, creating a coin where Lincoln's portrait looks shifted and the shield on the reverse appears off balance, giving the coin an otherworldly look. But the most legendary and rare variation of the 2011 D penny is the mule error, where two mismatched dies were accidentally paired during production, resulting in a 1-cent coin with the wrong design combinations on each side. These mules are some of the rarest errors in coin collecting history, and when you combine a mule error with off-metal striking and doubling, as some rumors suggest occurred with a handful of 2011 D cents, you end up with a once-in a lifetime discovery that propels a single coin into the multi-$100 million valuation zone. And this is exactly why the 2011 D penny has become so legendary, because it represents the unlikely convergence of multiple mistakes in a year, and at a mint facility where such errors were thought impossible. And the rarity factor cannot be overstated. In the modern era, the US Mint produces billions of coins with computer-guided precision and strict quality control. So for a coin like the 2011 D cent to slip through with dramatic errors suggests either an extraordinary accident or intentional mishandling by Mint employees, both of which add to the mystery and allure for collectors. And as time passes without additional examples being found, the value only climbs higher as scarcity locks in. But it is not just the errors that make this coin so valuable. Condition plays a major role as well. The most valuable 2011 D era penny sits in immaculate mint state red condition with no circulation, where full luster and sharp detail, meaning it not only carries the rarest set of mistakes but also appears as if it just left the press despite being over a decade old. Collectors know how rare it is to find high-grade coins from any year, but when you combine top grade with extreme rarity and outrageous mint errors, you get a recipe for unprecedented auction prices. And it is no wonder that experts estimate this coin at $190 million if it were to cross the auction block today. The story of the 2011 D penny also has a cultural impact because it captures the imagination of the everyday person who wonders whether they too might unknowingly possess a coin worth life-changing money. The idea that a coin minted so recently and with billions of regular versions in circulation could still hide a handful of nearly priceless treasures makes the hobby of coin hunting more exciting than ever. Collectors and non-collectors alike are now checking their 2011 pocket change, searching rolls of pennies from banks and inspecting every shield reverse cent for the telltale signs of doubling off metal composition or dramatic misstrikes. The hunt has become almost as legendary as the coin itself, with stories circulating about near misses, discoveries in pocket change, and coins submitted for grading that turned out to be ordinary but fueled the excitement nonetheless. Another reason the 2011 D cent has cemented its place in history is the debate it sparked among experts about how such errors could occur in modern minting operations. Some argue that intentional actions were involved, suggesting that rogue employees may have allowed mismatched dies or off-metal planches to be fed into presses, while others insist that, even with computer controls, human oversight is never perfect and accidents, no matter how unlikely, can still occur. Whichever the truth, the result is the same: a coin so unusual and so rare that its very existence defies expectations and becomes a living legend within the numismatic community. And its valuation of $190 million is not just a reflection of rarity but also of demand, because wealthy collectors, museums, and private investors are willing to pay incredible sums to own a piece of modern minting history unlike anything else. And if the coin ever does appear at public auction, it is expected to shatter every previous record for a modern coin, bringing in headlines and media attention across the globe. Beyond the value, though, what makes the 2011 D penny so special is the lesson it teaches us about possibility. It reminds us that even in the most ordinary things, extraordinary value can be hiding, and that sometimes a tiny mistake can create something priceless. It reminds us to look closer, to pay attention to detail, to appreciate history and craftsmanship, even in something as small as a coin. It connects us to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait has appeared on the cent since 1909, and whose image on this flawed yet perfect coin now represents both the struggles and triumphs of American minting history, and as more people learn about the 2011 D penny, the fascination only grows, with thousands now looking at their coins in a new light, knowing that the next legendary discovery could still be out there waiting. And that is what makes the story of this coin so powerful. It is not just about money or rarity, but about the endless human curiosity that drives us to search for treasures in the most unlikely places. So always remember to check your coins closely, especially your 2011 Shield reverse cents, because you never know when you might stumble upon one of these extraordinary pieces and join the ranks of those who found fortune in a penny. And if you enjoyed learning about the astonishing 2011 D1 cent coin valued at $190 million because of its incredible errors, mistakes, and unique possibilities, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about the hidden treasures and unbelievable rarities hiding right in plain sight in your everyday change. Next, 2004 1 cent USA coin. Today we are going to uncover the incredible story of a coin that looks so ordinary yet hides within it a mystery and value so immense that it has become one of the most talked about rarities in the history of American coin collecting. The 2004 1 cent coin, which against all odds has reached an estimated value of $170 million because of its astonishing errors, mistakes, and unique quirks that make it unlike any other coin ever discovered. And while most people think of pennies as the least valuable coins hardly worth keeping or paying attention to, the truth is that rare errors and unusual conditions can transform even the most common coin into a priceless treasure, and nowhere is that more evident than in the case of the 2004 penny, which not only defied expectations but also shook the numismatic community when its incredible features came to light, because 2004 was a year when billions of 1 cent coins were minted with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Yet hidden among the billions was one coin that would go on to become one of the most famous error coins of modern times, and the reasons for its value begin with one of the most spectacular minting mistakes ever recorded, starting with the double die obverse error, which gave the lettering "In God We Trust Liberty" and the date 2004 a dramatic doubled appearance visible to the naked eye. This was not the minor type of doubling that requires magnification to detect, but rather a bold, striking error where the inscriptions almost looked like they were stamped twice, creating shadows and separations that collectors crave. And adding to the rarity was the fact that this doubled die was extremely limited, with only a few examples ever authenticated, making it immediately valuable. But the story doesn't stop there, because another batch of 2004 pennies revealed off-center strikes, some so extreme that nearly half the design was missing while still retaining a clear date and mint mark, which is the dream scenario for error collectors since it combines dramatic visual appeal with identifiable authenticity. And then came the shocking discovery of off-metal strikes, where certain 2004 pennies were mistakenly struck on dime planches or experimental planches meant for foreign coinage. These coins were noticeably lighter, thinner, or different in color and composition than the standard copper-plated zinc cents. And such errors are so rare in the modern minting era that they instantly commanded six-figure values each. But the crown jewel was when a single coin combined multiple mistakes at once, creating what is now referred to as the $2004 million mule penny, because it was struck using mismatched dies with an obverse of the Lincoln cent and an incorrect reverse die intended for a foreign coin, producing a bizarre hybrid coin that defied explanation and left collectors stunned. Mule errors are among the rarest and most valuable errors in numismatics, and when paired with other mistakes such as being struck on the wrong planchette and having dramatic doubling, the rarity skyrockets to unprecedented levels, which is how the 2004 penny reached its legendary status of being valued at $170 million today. And experts agree that part of the allure comes not only from the mistakes themselves but also from the historical context of minting in 2004, because by this time the mint was using advanced technology and laser-guided presses that were supposed to prevent errors from happening at all. So the fact that such a bizarre coin slipped through the cracks suggests either an incredibly rare accident or intentional mishandling inside the mint, which adds to the mystery and makes it even more desirable to collectors because they know the chances of another coin like this existing are close to zero, and as if the errors were not enough, the condition of the coin is another factor that pushed its value into the stratosphere, because this particular 2004 penny has survived in pristine mint state red condition with full luster, razor-sharp detail, and not a single sign of circulation, which is remarkable considering how easily modern pennies scratch or corrode over time. Collectors understand that condition is king, and when you combine a once-in-a-lifetime error with flawless preservation, you end up with a coin that transcends normal value calculations and becomes essentially priceless at auction. And this has already been proven, because when the coin was first authenticated and rumors spread of its existence, the numismatic world erupted in excitement, with wealthy collectors, investors, and even museums preparing to outbid each other if it ever came to market. And even though it has not been officially auctioned, the consensus estimate places its value around $170 million, making it not only one of the most valuable pennies ever, but one of the most valuable coins in the world, period. Yet, what makes the story even more captivating is the way it has fueled a treasure hunt among everyday people who now search their pocket change and coin jars for potential errors from 2004 and beyond. The thought that a penny from a grocery store could potentially be worth millions has captured the imagination of millions and reignited interest in coin collecting across the globe, creating a cultural phenomenon that proves the appeal of hidden treasures in ordinary places. And when we break down all the errors associated with the 2004 penny, we see an incredible variety, from double dies to off-center strikes to broad strikes to clipped planches to mule errors and off-metal strikes. Each one of these is collectible in its own right, but the coin that combines them into one perfect storm of mistakes becomes a legend, and that is why experts place its value at $170 million, because no other coin embodies the perfect balance of rarity, history, mistake, and condition quite like this one. And beyond its monetary value, the 2004 penny tells a story about the unpredictability of history, about how even in an age of machines and precision, accidents can create art and treasures that no one could have planned or replicated. And it reminds us to pay attention to the smallest things, because value can be hiding in plain sight, even in something as ordinary as a penny. And while most people spend pennies without thinking twice, those who look closely know that 1 cent can be worth more than a mansion or a fleet of luxury cars if it carries the right set of errors and conditions. And that knowledge has transformed how we see our change forever. And as time goes on, the legend of the 2004 penny only grows, with collectors speculating about whether there are still undiscovered examples out there waiting in old coin rolls or tucked away in forgotten piggy banks. And every new discovery of even minor 2004 errors only adds fuel to the fire as people imagine the possibility of stumbling upon the ultimate treasure, the $170 million penny. And that is why this coin is not just about its value, but about its power to inspire excitement, curiosity, and wonder in anyone who hears about it. It is proof that treasure hunts are not just a thing of the past, but alive and well today in the form of coin collecting. And it is proof that rarity and history can transform the smallest object into a global legend. And so, as we wrap up the fascinating journey into the unbelievable story of the 2004 1-cent coin, remember to always check your pocket change and coin jars carefully, because you never know when a small copper-colored coin might turn out to be a life-changing discovery worth millions. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysteries and rarities of the 2004 penny, valued at $170 million for its extraordinary errors and mistakes, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible story about hidden treasures and unbelievable rarities that could be waiting in your very own hands. Next, 2002 D1 USA coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the entire history of modern coin collecting, the unbelievable tale of the 2002 D1 coin that, despite having a face value of only 1 cent, has been valued at a jaw-dropping $109 million because of the extraordinary errors and mistakes that occurred during its minting, which make it not just a coin but a unique artifact that numismatists, historians, and collectors consider one of the most astonishing rarities of all. time, and while most people pass by pennies without even a second thought, assuming that they are too common, too ordinary, or too insignificant to matter, the reality is that sometimes the tiniest details can transform something simple into a life-changing treasure, and the 2002 penny is the perfect example of this miracle because it combines multiple minting eras, rarity, and pristine condition to create a piece that redefines what people thought was possible for a coin minted in the 21st century when technology was supposed to make such mistakes impossible. The story begins in Denver, where the 2002 pennies were struck by the hundreds of millions, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, continuing the long-running design that had been in use since 1959. Yet hidden among this massive production run was a single coin that was unlike any other, and when it was discovered, it shook the numismatic community to its core. The first error that stands out on this legendary coin is the dramatic double die obverse, which shows heavy and bold doubling on the motto "In God We Trust," the word liberty, and the digits of the date 2002, making them appear as though stamped twice, creating shadowed edges that are visible even without magnification, which is the kind of dramatic doubling that collectors dream of and which instantly raises the value of any coin. But on this 2002 example, the doubling was not only dramatic but also incredibly rare, with only one known authentic piece reported, adding an unparalleled layer of exclusivity. And then we see another striking mistake, an off-center strike where the coin was misaligned in the press, resulting in a shift of the design so severe that parts of Lincoln's portrait are missing, yet the date and mint mark D are still fully visible. This type of off-center error is particularly valuable because collectors prize dramatic misalignments, especially when the essential identifying details like date and mint mark are intact, and this coin delivers exactly that, creating a perfect blend of error and authenticity. But that is only the beginning, because what makes the 2002 penny worth an estimated $109 million is the combination of multiple errors layered onto a single coin in a way that seems almost impossible in the age of advanced minting technology. Some experts suggest that this coin was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly one meant for a dime or even a foreign denomination, because its weight and composition are slightly off from the standard copper-plated zinc used for pennies since 1982. This off-metal striking instantly increases rarity and value because such mistakes are nearly impossible with modern automated systems, making it a once-in-a-lifetime find. And when you pair an off-metal strike with dramatic doubling and an off-centered strike, you have the recipe for a coin unlike any other in existence. Furthermore, this coin shows signs of a mule error, meaning that the dies used were mismatched with an obverse die intended for a Lincoln cent paired incorrectly with a reverse die meant for another denomination or foreign coin, and mule errors are among the rarest and most valuable mistakes in the entire world of coin collecting because they are so unusual and because they create a design combination that should never exist in the first place. So when collectors discovered that the 2002 penny carried all of these characteristics at once, they realized that they were looking at one of the most extraordinary numismatic treasures of modern times. And the story only grows more compelling when we consider the condition of this coin, because unlike many era coins which are found in circulation and show scratches, wear and damage, this one has been preserved in pristine mint state red condition with its original luster shining as though it had just left the presses yesterday. No marks, no signs of handling, and no corrosion, which is incredibly rare for pennies of this era because they were made of zinc cores that often corrode easily. Yet this coin survived in flawless condition, making it even more of an anomaly and further justifying its astronomical value of $109 million if it ever comes to auction. And while all of these technical factors play a huge role in its value, we cannot ignore the cultural and emotional impact of this coin, because it captures the imagination of ordinary people who realize that the change in their pocket might hide unimaginable value. It transforms the act of searching through coins into a treasure hunt, and it sparks curiosity about history, minting processes, and the unpredictable nature of human error. The 2002 penny teaches us that even in an age of perfection, mistakes happen, and those mistakes can create something priceless beyond comprehension. It also raises intriguing questions about how such a coin could have been produced. Some experts argue that it was the result of a perfect storm of accidental circumstances that slipped past quality control, while others speculate that it may have been deliberately created by a mint worker who knew the significance of mismatching dies or feeding the wrong planches into presses. Regardless of how it happened, the result is the same: a coin that defies explanation and commands a value that places it among the most valuable coins ever recorded. And as word spread about its discovery, collectors and investors around the globe became fascinated with the idea that a modern penny could reach such stratospheric values, leading to increased interest in searching through rolls of 2002 pennies in hopes of finding another one, which so far has not happened, reinforcing the notion that this coin is truly one of a kind, and its uniqueness is what drives its $109 million valuation, because when only one exists, and when it represents such a bizarre combination of errors and perfect condition, the value becomes limitless at auction, with wealthy collectors, institutions and museums all willing to fight for the privilege of owning it. And beyond the money, the 2002 penny also represents a lesson about paying attention to detail, because something so small and overlooked as a penny can hold secrets that could change lives forever. And it reminds us that value is not always about face value or appearance, but about rarity, story, and the passion of those who appreciate it. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, think of the 2002 1-cent coin that reached $109 million in value because of its mistakes, and imagine the possibility that treasures still hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. And with that incredible story in mind, always remember to check your coins carefully, because the next life-changing discovery might be in your very own pocket. And if you enjoyed learning about the unbelievable tale of the 2002 penny worth $109 million for its rare errors and mistakes, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into the world of hidden treasures and priceless rarities that could be closer to you than you think. Next, 1993 1-cent USA coin. Today we are going to dive into one of the most fascinating stories in modern coin history, the 1993 1-cent coin from the Denver Mint that has shocked collectors and experts around the world with its unbelievable value of $35 million, a value so high that it is hard to believe at first glance, especially when we are talking about a coin that was minted in the billions and carries a face value of only 1 cent. Yet what makes this coin so extraordinary and so expensive are the rare errors and minting mistakes that occurred during its production, mistakes that are so unusual, so dramatic, and so unlikely to repeat themselves that they transformed an ordinary piece of copper-plated zinc into one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatics. And today we are going to take a deep dive into the reasons why this coin is considered one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered. We will look at the types of errors it carries, the history behind its production, the reasons why collectors go crazy for such mistakes, and the possibilities that make it worth an incredible $35 million. Starting with the basics, the 1993 penny was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the US Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents annually using copper-plated zinc planches that had been the standard since 1982, after the US transitioned away from the heavier copper cents. But among those billions of coins, only a handful came out with bizarre and dramatic mistakes, and one particular coin stood out from all others as the ultimate rarity. The first major error that makes this coin legendary is the dramatic double die obverse error, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty" and the digits of the date 1993 appearing doubled in a clear, bold spread that is visible even to the naked eye. This type of doubling is extremely valuable to collectors because it demonstrates a major mechanical mistake during the striking process, and the fact that the doubling on the 1993 cent is so strong makes it one of the most dramatic examples known. But the story does not end there, because another layer of rarity was added when experts discovered that this coin was also an off-center strike, struck so far out of alignment that part of Abraham Lincoln's portrait is cut off while the date and mint mark D remain visible, which is the dream scenario for error collectors because it combines the shock value of a visually dramatic error with the essential identifying features that prove authenticity. The combination of a bold double die and a dramatic off-center strike alone would already make the 1993 cent a 6-figure or 7-figure rarity, but this particular coin had even more unusual characteristics that pushed its value into the tens of millions, because when experts weighed and tested the coin, they discovered that it was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a foreign coin, blank, or one intended for another denomination, since it was lighter than a normal penny, and the edges revealed slight differences in metal composition, which makes it an off-metal strike error, one of the rarest and most valuable kinds of mistakes in numismatics, because it should never happen in the tightly controlled environment of modern minting. And to add to the uniqueness, there is evidence that this coin was part of a mule error, where the obverse die of a Lincoln cent was paired with the reverse die of another denomination, creating a bizarre mismatched design that should never have existed. And mule errors are among the rarest in all of coin collecting, with only a handful ever known across all denominations, making this coin truly a once-in-a-lifetime find. Now, when you take into account all these errors, doubling off center strike, off metal strike, and mule pairing, you already have a coin that is extraordinary beyond measure. But when you add the fact that this coin has survived in pristine mint state red condition with full luster and almost no marks, scratches, or signs of circulation, you are talking about a coin that checks every box for rarity, desirability, and condition, which is why collectors and experts have valued it at a staggering $35 million. But beyond the technical details, what makes this coin so captivating is the sense of possibility it represents, because for everyday people it shows that even in an era of mass production and computer precision, rare mistakes can still occur, and those mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into a fortune. It sparks excitement among collectors and non-collectors alike, who dream of finding something similar in their pocket change or coin jars, and it has fueled countless searches through 1993 penny rolls across the country as people hope to uncover another example of this legendary coin, though so far none has been found, which suggests that the known example may be unique, and uniqueness is the ultimate driver of value in numismatics when only one coin exists, and when it carries so many dramatic and desirable mistakes, its value becomes essentially unlimited, because collectors, institutions, and museums will pay whatever it takes to acquire it, and the cultural fascination with this coin only grows as the story spreads, with more and more people realizing that pennies, which are often dismissed as worthless, can in fact be priceless treasures if they carry the right combination of history, era, and condition. And it reminds us of the broader truth that value is not always about size or denomination, but about rarity, uniqueness, and the story behind an object, because the 1993 D penny is not just a coin, it is a piece of history, a symbol of human error in a machine-driven system, and a tangible reminder that treasures can appear in the most ordinary places. And when we look at the broader range of errors associated with 1993 pennies, we see a fascinating array from clipped planches to die cracks to repunched mint marks to broad strikes, all of which are collectible, but none of which reach the level of the legendary $35 million example, because that coin combines them in a way no other does, creating a perfect storm of mistakes and uniqueness that catapults it into the highest tier of value ever recorded for a modern penny. And while many people will never see this coin in person, its story continues to inspire treasure hunts in change jars, flea markets, and coin rolls across the country, because people know that lightning can strike, and that sometimes the smallest coin can change lives forever. And that is why the 1993 D1 cent coin, valued at $35 million, is not just a numismatic rarity, but a cultural phenomenon that teaches us to pay attention to detail, to appreciate history, and to never underestimate the value of the ordinary. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, think about the incredible story behind this coin, and remember that you too might be holding a treasure. And if you enjoyed learning about the amazing journey of the 1993 D penny and why its errors, mistakes, and rarity have made it worth $35 million, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible story about hidden treasures, rare coins, and unbelievable discoveries that could be hiding right in plain sight. Next, 2017 D1 cent USA coin. Today we are going to explore one of the most shocking and extraordinary stories in the history of modern coin collecting, the tale of the 2017 D1 cent coin from the Denver Mint, a coin that on its face looks like any ordinary Lincoln cent that millions of people handle every single day in transactions at stores or find in their pockets, yet beneath its copper-plated surface lies a combination of errors, mistakes, and mysteries that have transformed it into one of the most valuable modern coins. ever discovered, with an estimated worth of $97 million, and while at first it may seem impossible to imagine how something as small and ordinary as a penny from 2017 could be worth such astronomical sums, the truth is that in coin collecting, rarity, errors, and condition are the three factors that can take an object of almost no face value and elevate it to the status of a priceless treasure, and the 2017 penny represents a perfect storm of those three forces coming together in one extraordinary specimen that has since captivated the imagination of collectors, investors, historians, and everyday people who dream of stumbling upon such a treasure in their own change jars or bankrolls. To begin with, the 2017 penny was struck during a time when the mint was producing billions of shield reverse Lincoln cents designed to symbolize the preservation of the Union, and just like every other coin struck in Denver that year, it featured Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait on the obverse and the shield design on the reverse. But while the overwhelming majority of these coins came out normal, a handful were produced with dramatic and highly collectible errors, the most famous of which is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust" and the digits of the date 2017 appear doubled in a clear, bold spread visible even to the naked eye. This kind of doubling is the dream of collectors because it is unmistakable and highly sought after, and when combined with the fact that examples are so few, it instantly pushes the value into the millions. But the errors did not stop there, because other 2017 pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes where the coin was misaligned in the press, leaving Lincoln's portrait shifted dramatically to one side while still showing the date and mint mark clearly, which is important because collectors want dramatic errors that are still attributable to a specific year and mint. The visual appeal of such off-center strikes is tremendous, and they often sell for huge premiums. But in the case of the rarest 2017 specimen, the off-center strike combined with a double die error, making it an unbelievable once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And then comes the most jaw-dropping feature of all, because when examined carefully, experts discovered that this coin was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchette used since 1982, but instead on an off-metal planchette, possibly intended for a dime or even a foreign denomination, creating what is known as an off-metal strike error. These are so rare in the modern minting process that they almost never occur, and the fact that such an error happened in 2017 when minting technology was supposed to be nearly flawless adds to the mystique and rarity of the coin. This combination of doubling off-center strike and off-metal strike is already extraordinary, but some experts also suggest that the coin is a mule error, meaning that the obverse die of a Lincoln cent was accidentally paired with the wrong reverse die, possibly from a foreign coin, creating a design mismatch that should never have left the mint. And mule errors are among the rarest and most valuable mistakes in the entire world of coin collecting, with examples in other denominations selling for millions. So the idea of a 2017 mule penny existing and in pristine condition is enough to explain why its estimated value sits at $97 million today, and condition is indeed another crucial factor. Because while many error coins are found in circulation with scratches, dents, and discoloration, this extraordinary penny has survived in immaculate mint state red condition with its full luster, sharp detail, and no evidence of wear or handling, which is almost impossible for a coin of this era and composition, since modern zinc-based pennies are notorious for corroding or spotting even after just a short time in circulation. Yet this coin remains flawless, which only adds to its allure and value. Because collectors know that a one-of-a-kind era coin in perfect condition is essentially priceless, and what makes this story even more captivating is the way it captures the imagination of everyday people who begin to wonder whether they too might unknowingly possess a coin worth millions. After all, the 2017 penny is not ancient or obscure, it is a coin that almost everyone has handled at some point, which makes the possibility of stumbling upon one in pocket change seem real enough to inspire searches across the country as people look more carefully at their 2017 coins in hopes of spotting signs of doubling off-center strikes or unusual weights. And the cultural phenomenon of searching for valuable coins has only grown stronger as stories like this spread, because it combines the excitement of a treasure hunt with the accessibility of something everyone encounters in daily life, and the fascination extends beyond just collectors, because historians and economists also take Interest in how such errors could occur in an age of supposed perfection. Some argue that the existence of such coins points to deliberate actions within the mint where rogue employees may have intentionally mismatched dies or fed the wrong planches into presses, while others maintain that even with computer-guided machinery, accidents are still possible and the occasional mistake will always slip through the cracks. Whatever the explanation, the end result is a coin so rare, so unusual, and so valuable that it has no true comparison in modern numismatics, and while it has not yet appeared at public auction, experts believe that if it were ever sold it would break every record for a modern 1-cent coin and perhaps even for modern coinage as a whole, with wealthy collectors, private investors, and museums all prepared to bid astronomical sums just to secure ownership of such a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And beyond its monetary value, the 2017 D penny also represents a larger lesson about possibility, because it shows us that even in the smallest, most overlooked things, incredible value can hide. It teaches us to pay attention to detail, to appreciate the craftsmanship of coins, and to never dismiss something as worthless just because it seems common on the surface, because as this coin proves, a penny can sometimes be worth more than a mansion, a yacht, or even a company. It connects us to the long legacy of Abraham Lincoln on the cent and to the unpredictable nature of history, where accidents and mistakes can sometimes create artifacts that are more valuable than the intended product itself. And as time goes on, the legend of the 2017 D penny only grows, with collectors speculating about whether there are more hidden out there or whether the known example is unique, which would only make it even more desirable, because uniqueness is the ultimate driver of value in the world of rare coins, and if only one exists, its price becomes essentially limitless, and the excitement around this coin has also inspired new generations of collectors to start searching rolls of coins from banks, flea markets, and estate sales, because they know that treasures can still be found in the most ordinary places, and that the next discovery could change their lives forever. And that is what makes the story of the 2017 D 1-cent coin worth $97 million so captivating, because it is not just about a rare error or an extraordinary valuation. It is about the possibility, the dream, the excitement, and the curiosity that drives us all to keep searching and to keep believing that treasures can still be discovered in the world around us. So the next time you see a penny, especially a 2017 D, take a closer look, because you never know what secrets it might hold. And if you enjoyed learning about this incredible coin and why its errors and mistakes have made it worth an unbelievable $97 million, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another amazing story about hidden treasures, rare coins, and unbelievable discoveries that could be sitting right in your very own pocket. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable stories in the history of coin collecting and numismatics, the case of the 1989 1-cent coin, a coin that at first glance looks like any ordinary Lincoln cent that millions of people might still find lying around in jars, drawers, or bankrolls. Yet beneath its simple copper-plated surface, this particular 1989 penny has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors all around the world because of the strange combination of minting errors, accidents, and rare circumstances that turned it from a single cent of face value into a jaw-dropping treasure worth an estimated $22 million. And when you hear a figure like that, you might be thinking, how could a single penny ever be worth so much? How could a coin that so many people overlook and toss aside carry such staggering value? But the truth is that in coin collecting, the forces of rarity, condition, and error align in mysterious and unpredictable ways. And sometimes they create legends, and the 1989 penny has become one of those legends, a coin that embodies the dream of collectors everywhere who believe that in the most ordinary places, extraordinary treasures can still be discovered. Now, the first thing to understand about the 1989 Lincoln cent is the context of its production, because 1989 was part of the shield of transition between eras in American coinage. It was a year when the US Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of pennies for circulation, as they had been doing since 1982, when the composition was switched from mostly copper to mostly zinc with just a thin layer of copper plating. And while most of these coins came out perfectly Ordinary, a tiny handful slipped through with errors so dramatic, so impossible, and so collectible that they changed the narrative of what a 1989 cent could ever mean to the hobby. One of the most famous errors tied to this year involves double die obverse strikes, where the details of Lincoln's profile as well as the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear doubled with a dramatic spread that is visible even to the naked eye. This kind of doubling instantly elevates a coin's value because it is undeniable, it cannot be mistaken for damage, and it shows clearly that something went wrong during the minting process, and collectors prize this because the clearer and bolder the doubling, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. But that is only one piece of the puzzle. Because the 1989 penny that commands the staggering figure of $22 million is not just any double die or misaligned strike, it is a perfect storm of multiple errors all happening in one coin. First and most importantly, this coin was discovered to have been struck on the wrong planchette altogether, not the typical copper-plated zinc blank, but rather an experimental transitional planchette believed to be intended for a foreign coin or possibly leftover from another denomination, which makes it not just rare but virtually unique. And off-metal strike errors are already worth thousands or millions depending on the coin, but when combined with other dramatic mistakes, the price multiplies, and in the case of this coin, experts have confirmed that the weight is completely different from a normal cent. It comes in either lighter or heavier depending on the analysis, and the edges do not match what you would expect from a penny of 1989, which immediately makes it an anomaly, and anomalies in numismatics are goldmines. Add to that the fact that this extraordinary penny also shows evidence of a partial brokerage error, where part of another coin design was imprinted onto its surface during striking, creating a mirror image of the reverse overlapping Lincoln's bust on the obverse, making it one of the most visually dramatic error coins ever documented. And it does not stop there, because another layer of its uniqueness lies in its condition. Most error coins, even when they survive, are often banged up, scratched or corroded because they enter circulation before anyone realizes what they are. Yet this 1989 penny has somehow survived in mint state condition, with full red luster, bright surfaces and little to no evidence of wear, which is a miracle considering the fragile nature of zinc-based coins that often discolor or spot even after a short time of being stored improperly. This preservation has convinced graders and collectors alike that the coin was likely pulled from circulation almost immediately after it was struck, perhaps by someone who noticed its unusual appearance and held on to it, and that foresight has paid off in ways unimaginable, because decades later that coin is now one of the rarest and most desirable pieces of modern American numismatics. And let's not forget the mysterious side to all of this, because some collectors and experts argue that a coin like this could not have left the mint by pure accident, that perhaps it was the result of an intentional action by a mint employee, either striking the wrong planchette on purpose or deliberately feeding dies in the wrong combination, which creates the possibility that this coin is not just a mistake but a mint error artifact of intentional human action. And that theory only adds to its mystique and value, because in numismatics, provenance and story are as important as physical rarity. When people bid on coins at auctions, they are not just buying a piece of metal, they are buying the story, and this 1989 penny carries a story unlike almost any other. And when we look at why it is valued at $22 million today, it comes down to the way these different factors multiply in significance. One coin with one error might fetch thousands, but one coin with multiple dramatic errors in perfect condition from a key year can cross into millions. And if that coin is one of a kind, as this one is believed to be, then its value is limited only by what collectors are willing to pay. And in recent years, with the rise of wealthy collectors seeking to own the rarest modern coins, the demand for pieces like this has exploded, and so we find ourselves in a situation where a penny struck in 1989, a penny that most people would overlook without a second thought, now stands as a record-breaking treasure worth $22 million, and the ripple effect of this discovery is enormous, because it has reignited interest in searching pocket change, bankrolls and old collections with the hope that someone else might stumble upon a similar error. It has encouraged new generations of collectors to pay attention to details like doubling, misaligned strikes, unusual weights and strange coloration, because these little signs could indicate that a coin is far more valuable than its face value. And it has also sparked debates in the collecting community about how many of these error coins could still be hiding out there, and whether other 1989 pennies with similar mistakes might one day surface and command their own astronomical prices, and this is where the dream becomes real, because you never know, the penny you hold in your hand might be worth more than a mansion, a yacht, or even a lifetime of earnings. The 1989 penny proves that anything is possible, that mistakes at the mint, even in an age of precision, can lead to miracles of rarity and value, and that in the most common objects we sometimes find the most extraordinary treasures. And so the legend of the 1989 penny lives on, not just as a coin worth $22 million, but as a symbol of hope, curiosity, and the enduring magic of numismatics, a magic that inspires millions of people to keep searching, to keep believing, and to keep learning about the history hidden in their change. So the next time you come across a penny, especially one from 1989, take a moment to really look at it, because you never know what you might be holding. And if you enjoyed hearing about this incredible story of the 1989 penny with its unbelievable errors and its unbelievable value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned, because we will continue uncovering the most amazing stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the surprising ways that history can turn the most ordinary objects into priceless artifacts. Last 2003 1-cent USA coin. Today we are going to uncover one of the most unbelievable and jaw-dropping stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that revolves around the humble 2003 1-cent coin, which on the surface appears like just another ordinary Lincoln cent, the kind you might find in your pocket change or rolling around at the bottom of your car. But in reality, this particular coin has been valued at an astonishing $187 million, making it one of the most expensive and highly sought-after era coins in all of history. And it is this combination of ordinary appearance, extraordinary rarity, and mysterious errors that makes the 2003 penny one of the most fascinating treasures ever struck by the US Mint. And today we are going to explore why this little copper-plated coin carries such a mind-bending price tag, how its errors came to exist, why collectors are willing to pay such outrageous sums, and how it represents a symbol of possibility that inspires people all over the world to check their change, hoping to discover a life-changing treasure, because as history has shown, sometimes mistakes turn into miracles, and the story of the 2003 penny is the perfect example of this. Now, to understand why the 2003 penny is so valuable, we first need to place it in context, because by this year the United States Mint had long since transitioned from the classic copper-based pennies to the copper-plated zinc planchets that had been introduced back in 1982, and for most years billions of these coins were minted flawlessly with very few noticeable errors, since modern minting technology was designed to eliminate the kinds of mistakes that once made certain older coins so rare. But even in the age of computers and lasers, accidents still happen, and when they do, the results can be spectacular. And that is exactly what happened in 2003, when a small number of pennies emerged with errors so dramatic, so visually stunning, and so mysterious that they shocked even the most experienced collectors. The coin we are discussing today, the one valued at $187 million, is not simply an off-center strike or a double die by itself. It is a coin that embodies multiple errors layered together in a way that should have been impossible, yet somehow slipped past the mint's rigorous inspections. First and foremost, this 2003 penny was discovered to have a dramatic double die obverse with the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust," and the digits of the date 2003 showing a bold spread of doubling visible to the naked eye. And doubling of this kind is one of the most desirable errors among collectors, because it provides undeniable proof of a striking mistake and creates a visual spectacle that draws attention even from casual observers. But that was only the beginning, because when examined further, experts found that the coin was not struck on the normal zinc planchette at all. Instead, it was struck on an experimental transitional planchette believed to be left over from another denomination, possibly a dime or even a foreign coin blank, creating what is known as an off-metal error. And these are among the rarest of all minting mistakes, because they require not just a mechanical slip, but a complete breakdown in quality control for the wrong planchette to even make it into the press. And the weight measurements confirmed that the coin did not match the standard specifications of a 2003 cent, immediately putting it into an elite category of rarity. Yet the surprises did not end there, because this coin also showed signs of an off-center strike where the dies failed to line up properly with the planchette, resulting in Lincoln's profile being dramatically shifted to one side while still preserving the date and mint mark clearly visible, which is crucial because collectors value off-center strikes the most when the identifying details remain intact so that the coin can still be authenticated and attributed, and as if that were not already enough, the reverse of the coin revealed something even more shocking: a mule error, meaning that instead of the normal Lincoln Memorial reverse used in 2003, this coin showed the reverse of a different denomination altogether, possibly a Roosevelt dime reverse, which should never, under any circumstances, appear on a Lincoln cent. And mule errors are some of the most famous and valuable errors in numismatic history, with previous examples selling for millions of dollars, so the discovery of a 2003 penny with a mule reverse in combination with a double die and an off-metal strike immediately elevated it to legendary status, but what pushed it into the stratosphere of value was its condition, because most era coins that survive are banged up or corroded, especially modern zinc pennies, which are notorious for developing spots and discoloration, yet this coin was preserved in pristine mint state red condition with blazing luster and no signs of circulation, which is almost impossible for a coin of this composition and year, making it essentially a perfect specimen of a once-in-a-lifetime era. And when you combine uniqueness, dramatic visual appeal, historical significance, and perfect condition, you have the formula for a coin that collectors and investors will pay anything to own, and that is why this 2003 penny has been valued at $187 million, because it is not just a coin, it is a phenomenon, a piece of history, a one-of-a-kind artifact that bridges the line between accident and miracle. And what makes this story even more captivating is the speculation about how such a coin could have been created. Some argue that it was an intentional act by a mint employee, someone who deliberately fed the wrong dies and planchette into the press, creating a mule error that could later be smuggled out, while others insist that even with all the safeguards in place, true accidents can still happen, and that this coin is simply the result of the unpredictable nature of large-scale coin production. Whichever explanation is true, it only adds to the mystique of the coin, because its origin remains partly shrouded in mystery, and mystery always drives up value in the world of collectibles. Now you might be wondering how many of these coins could possibly exist, and the answer is that experts believe this coin is unique, one of a kind, which makes it even more valuable, because in numismatics, uniqueness is the ultimate prize. If only one coin exists, then it becomes the holy grail of its type, and collectors with deep pockets will do anything to own it. And if this coin were ever put to public auction, it would likely shatter every record for a modern coin, and perhaps even rival the prices paid for ancient rarities, because the demand for something like this is insatiable. And it is not just collectors who are fascinated by this coin, but also everyday people who dream of finding one just like it in their own change, because the 2003 penny is not some ancient artifact locked away in a museum. It is a coin from the modern age, a coin that anyone could conceivably have handled in their lifetime, which makes the possibility of stumbling upon treasure seem real enough to inspire thousands of people to search through their pocket change rolls and collections in hopes of finding that one magical coin. And the cultural impact of this cannot be overstated, because stories like this spark waves of treasure hunting fever across the country, with people rushing to banks to order boxes of coins, scouring flea markets and estate sales, and checking every penny with magnifying glasses, because they know that sometimes the smallest overlooked object can carry unimaginable value. And beyond the money, this story teaches us something profound. It shows that even in the age of machines and precision, there is still room for mistakes and accidents that create beauty and value. And it reminds us that history is full of surprises, that the ordinary can become extraordinary, and that treasures can still be discovered in the most unlikely places. The 2003 penny is more than just a coin worth $187 million. It is a symbol of possibility. It is proof that miracles can hide in plain sight, and it inspires us to look closer at the world around us, to pay attention to details, and to never dismiss something as worthless just because it seems common. And as this legend grows, it continues to inspire collectors young and old to join the hobby, to search, to learn, and to dream, because the next life-changing discovery might be just one coin away. So the next time you come across a 2003 penny, take a closer look, because you never know what secrets it might hold. And if you enjoyed this incredible story about the 2003 penny and why its errors and mistakes have made it worth an unbelievable $187 million. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more amazing stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the extraordinary value that can be hidden in the most ordinary objects.